I think that's kind of how it is. Most of the people out here been kicked around by other people out here enough. You can't trust anybody.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, some people mimic my story and use my MO, and I love them anyway. I've been nice to them too. Hey, are you still a nicotine person? I got changed. Do you happen to have a cigarette?
I don't. I've been walking around snipe hunting today.
I got like crappy reroll of the asphalt going on. I'm going to drop off my bottles and tabs of kidney dialysis. Call my kid to see if I'm supposed to still meet him down here, but it's ridiculous. It buggered my mom too. My mom was from the Appalachians. But I survived childbirth here. Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for the ride. Not. and so did my 4 kids, and it just gets old when you come home to take care of family or maybe, take a break from respite from some murder attempts or whatever. And you get boogerfied more than anybody. And you know what? The ones that copycat, like, why would you want to? Are you really jealous of misery?
Right. I tell people my best friend got her brain blown out in 2017, and they're looking at me like either A, I'm trying to get attention because I want somebody to touch my butt, or,
Sorry. All right.
No.
Or whoever.
Right.
It's not about that. If I'm apologizing, if my tone's like this, then if I turn into like something that, my joke and my twisted way about hating on certain characters like Mother Teresa Gandhi and Jesus believes me. I never hate Jesus, okay? But if I'm pushed to the point, my friends know that they're walking in hallowed ground and they've gone past the limit, okay? Now, unfortunately, I'll continue to work on myself and how other folks affect me. However, in the meanwhile, it's just a lousy, twisted joke.
Absolutely.
And the big kahuna does have a sense of humor. Twisted, yeah, probably.
I look at it like, all right, all the people out here with problems, the gateway drug is trauma. So even the drug addicts who are out here, they're out here because of trauma.
Well,
and then they say mentally ill is an excuse. Like, there's all these laws that they're supposed to follow if we're quote unquote mentally ill. But they literally have to ignore those laws to leave us on the streets. And then they tell us that we chose it.
To me, insane means in the realm of sanity. Now, to some people, like, especially some bikers, the word bitch is a compliment. For me, I am not fortunate enough to be stuck in a female dog fight. Now, as far as crazy, to me, crazy is perhaps people who really don't know what's going on. No offense, that's just it's not a judgment, and not a wolf. Okay, so my mom, she's native, but that crazy part, is a compliment. But I am a full-fledged loon. I prefer to be a lunatic on the grass, smoking the grass, or at least pretending to, or maybe chomping on it. I'm the friends. I've been a real rough fucker, so sorry for whining at you.
Oh, you're
I'm
totally
glad
good.
to see you, and I hope you still have a vehicle and swim noodles.
I do have the vehicle and swim noodles still.
Hoorah!
Absolutely. I got rid of the kayak, but the car's right back behind the building here.
Nice.
I've had to be real careful about where I park. The cops been coming down on me.
Yeah, see.
A lot of the neighborhood
parking
especially.
ticket lady walked in the liquor store today. She was supposed to leave me alone. Who got harassed? The ones really pulling the numbers on this town and the people.
Is that the lady the code enforcement lady in the white pickup?
Yeah, well, sometimes she is
really, so rude.
She's not supposed to stop by my apartments, but she's left notes. She's really dog police. And if you're dirty and rolling through here dirty, or somebody that, whatever hers, then you can skate. But if you're me, once you pick up other people's trash, and, I'm not trying to whine and stumble, but boy, do I feel whining and stumbly right now. It's a different story. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, that one, Barbara.
She's very, very rude. She told me at like 10:30 in the morning that I couldn't be parked down there. I was like, it's after 6 o'clock. I can be parked here.
Henry retired, but he was one of the only city ones. He'd say, Lori, why shouldn't you be treated with dignity and respect? You know what I'm saying? And he'd try to get her on, some other car abandoned over by Nazarene instead of me and mine, especially when I have appointments with care, even though I would have been better off out of my son's trailer park first, and then my other vehicle's my my other son who just got out of the joint, his wouldn't have been screwed over. My motorhome that I brought screwed up that had been ransacked and violated, it wouldn't have got screwed over more, and then even more out there where my
I met
girl was
Hanratty right before he retired.
He was
but that
not a
was
bad
over
guy.
that was over a situation with Farnsworth.
Oh,
And although
I forget
he's
all
not a
their
bad
names,
guy,
but
the
Hanratty
situation with that was horrible.
Was Hanratty decent to you? Because he was
He
one
was.
of the only real guys
he was
here.
mostly trying to make sure that Farnsworth didn't get in trouble, though. But by that point, that was number 7. That was the 7th time with Farnsworth that he'd done that.
I'm not even sure which one that is because they called me Ms. and
Farnsworth
Ma'am
is one of the
when I
homeless
came
guys.
back here.
Yeah.
But then when they, like my son who was, and it's the stepsisters, and something else, and who knows what else, because all these years of defecating on my character, including my mother's, who's deceased, rest in peace, Mom. It's been nuts, and just because I may own too many of my own glitches, part of it because of how I was raised. I'm humble and I'm not trying to sound pompous. We're all loved and we all have our spot. Okay, I'm just waiting
That's
for the big
definitely
guy
not my spot,
to
but
say,
I do like Ricky.
jump. You know what I'm saying? And see, that guy understands in different sort of ways because he knows the old school tongue, so it's all a, spell in that sense. Yeah, I don't mean to sound weird. Okay?
You are weird. It's okay. I'm weird too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's those normal people that I don't get because there's no such thing.
Yeah, my dear friend Randy, she says I make her look normal and offensive. Blah, 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 blah. And so she was nice. I was glad to see her by Kitten Caboodle in the liquor store. Now she's parked at Kitty's. I still want to go in there. And call my son is walking in from dinner. And she might think it's Puerto Rican, but he hurt my feelings this morning. But depends on where you grow up at. I don't like loud volume either. However,
I come from a Germanic family where we talk like this at the dinner table.
What? I can hardly hear you.
Pass the salt.
I'm full of passion.
Sorry. Oh my God,
wait.
we're making them kids run away. All right, I know they're just crossing the road, but it's still funny.
I wouldn't wear a hearing aid like my dad or grandpa even if I had one, probably. Doesn't mean I can't feel your vibe.
That's one of the things that a lot of people keep telling me about their tarot cards. I'm like, you're not going to learn anything from a tarot card. You got to meet people to learn anything.
Well, exactly, and you gotta meet yourself, and okay, well. Okay.
A lady claimed I killed somebody because
a
her
dear
tarot
friend
card
of mine
said
made
so,
balloons. I was just
and I
born
couldn't know.
gifted. It feels like a curse.
Right.
Especially when the ones you love the most, and then shit talks about you, and they don't heed your warnings. But what I know, I'd rather not.
And that's the part about speaking up. A lot of people are like, just let it go, just let it go. No, that leads to more abuse.
Well, I just called that lady's dude out. I said, somebody's got to call bullshit after a point. Now, how many of the impersonators and the people that have hemmed up on my stuff and screwed with my stuff out of my kids and at my apartments, how many of them hang out at your guys' house and violate you too? And then you guys are in a pickle. You know what I'm saying? And the dude's all said, I'm sorry. Then he said, I'm sorry, Larry. Well, sorry is
that was
a sorry
one of the scariest
does.
thing about my friends getting into low income.
You say it's too much light, it gives me sorrow. Or lo siento. That's something real, man. But when you say, I'm sorry, Laurie, I'm sorry, and you can continue to do the same thing.
I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I'm a bad friend. I'm sorry that I don't have time. I'm sorry that the kids got to come first.
Right, here's one. But I should have asked first. I apologize. But anyway, good to see you. I'm going to call this kid back, try to roll myself a super dry rollie. He might walk to town. I may, if those people haven't left the behind kitties, I may even have them a ride back with this heavy shit, or I'll put it on my bars. But pleasure to see you. I hope I wasn't too rough on you.
You're totally good.
I really
You've been
didn't
great.
mean to kill you off.
You haven't been. I've been hiding at the other end of town because people that give me problems go to the same places, and they got to be able to eat too, even if they're nuts.
Well, I'm kind of a wing nut, wax on, wax off, but this kind of nuts hasn't been the safe kind of nuts.
Right. When people are threatening to kill me at the First Christian Church, I don't want to go to the First Christian Church.
Exactly.
Especially when I got to go in and he sits next to me.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
And people try to punk my friend Richard. You know, I'm so grateful for our soldiers and our veterans. And I don't know what it is. I'm so blessed, and no offense. You know, my uncle Garland was a medic, so that he was Army in Vietnam. It's just
You know, I didn't think you was a Harley Davidson until just now. I would have loved to be a knucklehead, although I think, nope, my head isn't flat enough to be a panhead, is it?
no. Well, even this
It's
part-
lumpy enough I could have been smacked with one.
I'm lumpy enough. I like the Indians too, though. You know, just because I want my fucking shopping cart to sound like whoop 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 whoop, rather than
Those Indians are nice. Apparently they're starting to remanufacture them now.
Are you
which is-
kidding?
That's wicked.
I watched some cool history stuff with this kid that I'm going to call back in a minute. But yeah, who's into foraging? We're supposed to have a fire with weenies tonight, but you know, I'm broke, so I didn't get no weenies in a bunch yet. I'm still downtown, but
Yeah, I'm not going to your camp, and I don't mean to be a weenie. I'm just a little guy.
oh my God. But
Or-
someday, if you ever want to flush toilet or laundry, I haven't given up my fort yet, even though I really wanted my motorhome saved and the vehicle saved out of my son's. Man, and I wouldn't even be overdrafting every month to get everything back on top. But so we'll have to talk just in case. You know, you and me can handle it. I'll just give you the lowdown and you decide what you want and decide, and you'll, you know, I'm sure you're polite enough, even if it appears like something like I'm tugging on my neck, you know. So there you have that. I live on 12th Street and 5 Rivers, and my son lives out on King. That's him.
I'll give it to you on your way back through.
Dad, I'll come and see you in just a moment. I'm going to hand these guys some tabs, and I'll call my kids back somewhere between.
No, don't let if this state can't decide
Okay, well,
what season it is.
besides, you know, cycles of drug and
Oh my
arms
God,
salesmen
yes.
on the planet. Oh,
people
yeah,
pass me
friends
with
that
the stuff in
grow for them. And I'd rather see them and yuck it up a little and throw them a few dimes, but still, it's hard to get around right now. My car still broke down in my parking lot.
The one down there?
Oh, no, I'm 12. Yeah. My car was in good shape when I came back a few years ago. We'll catch up, though.
Somebody was telling me there's a car down there belongs to a lady named Loretta or Lori or something.
Well, maybe, and maybe somebody, there's a lot of impersonators and some people that have stolen my shit and frauded my shit. So,
It could have been, or
I'm
it could
Lori
be
with the
somebody
Gory
else's
Story,
different
or
name.
GLORIA, plus or minus. I lean towards the left, though.
Yeah. All right.
Rather
So
have the
I did grow up
Italian
in the
fried
80s.
salami than the pepperoni. I love, but it's given me heartburn since I was pregnant with my oldest boy. He was born in '89. So, you know.
Well, at least he's a real person. I mean, they stopped making real people when the Soviet Union fell.
I understand.
That's a bad joke,
that
but
with
it's-
these people that play with like magic cards or certain things they don't understand, I was just born into some things, you know what I mean? And it's really sad because if you knew the kid, he thinks he's a gallant knight, but you know, his father, you know, I said, Stan, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings or piss you off when I said, let's shove Isaiah up your dick hole and try this again. Isaiah's 33 now, okay? Okay, I wasn't trying to be mean. I was reaching out. We've known each other since '84, right before I turned 16. You know, March 17th, '84. Michael Schenker of the Scorpions. You know, you're Germanic, so, you know, the Scorpions. Wah, my brother still lives in Germany, okay? So, opened up for terrible Ted Nugent on March 17th, '84. I was being fitted for
Longest squirrel
audits.
kill in history with an arrow.
Really?
Yeah, Ted Nugent, no joke. He's
Terrible
in the Guinness
Ted
Book of
Nugent.
World Records.
You know, I was born super spastic. I used to, when Tony Bossio
I thought he was
lived
a
down here-
musician.
Well, he is. But, you know, I used to do like Intensities. It's a live album. And he talks like I do most of the time. And I used to like do that the commentary and the wham. Well, my friends were slow throwing my flip flops on, but my parents' hot roof, it was like the top of it was like, yeah. Well, I mooned the cows and did terrible Ted Nugent. That's one of Tony Bassio's favorite memories of me in like junior high back in the, I'm a 68 model. So when I was 10, that was 78. So when I was 12, early junior high-ish, that was 80. So I'm old now. And I met my oldest boy's dad. I didn't believe in love at first sight, but he was the bad boy out front at the Coliseum the day I was for orthotics, because the big boys in me and Connie, I don't deny it now, but they were hard pressed to keep up on me. In the middle pack, I was pushing to the limits, and the other ones, I was lapping those inside left turns, real sharp. Horses, dogs, glorious.
I'm probably one of the few people who's been out here long enough to know what the hell you're even saying. It just sounds like gibberish to a lot of people. Well, it's kind of like listening to somebody who's speaking British pub talk.
Right, well, I'm Sweet Fen Dutch on my dad's side. Irish, English, Dutch almost mixed. And Native American from my mama, who stayed in the Appalachians, my mom was mama. So I boil it down to Viking Cherokee because, they had to play plunder and pillage. Those people down there in the other countries were kind of doing wrong. Plus, it's cold up there.
Yeah, that's the Alaskans' excuse, too.
I meant.
It's cold up there.
Okay, well, if you're Germanic, then you understand the land of the ice and snow.
That would be just slightly north. It's still Germanic tribesmen, but it's not modern
it's
German.
Sweden, Finland, and
Denmark.
Denmark, yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It is till 6 o'clock.
5:30 or 6?
Oh, and the entrance is this way?
Yes, ma'am.
So.
Is there parking over there?
There is. It's just across the street, though.
Oh, there's my
Yes,
son again.
ma'am.
Anyway, I will scoot that by.
Very good. Yes, ma'am.
Hurts me last. Okay.
I'll go write
The
it down.
quotes are nice. Okay, I'll see you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, sweetie. Bye. I missed you last time.
All right. So there was a lady earlier walking through the parking lot back at Safeway, and she was quite a bit older, and she was giving me that mean mugging look. You know, the one where you're trying to walk through the parking lot and pretend like you don't notice you're getting gawked at, like you killed somebody's dog or something. So she was walking probably about, I don't know, probably 2 feet from me, and I stopped, and I didn't want to be rude. I said, is there a booger hanging down or something? And, because she was like, as I went by. And I was trying to break the ice without saying, hey, would you please not stare at me like an asshole? So I said, is there something on my mustache or something? She said, no, you look like my husband. He died in 1974. Okay. Apparently I look like a dead guy. 1974, that would be 6 years before I was born. I was born in 1980. So apparently I look like a guy who's been dead for a long time. Wow, there's a lot of law enforcement over there. Did somebody fucking die? There's the sheriff's vehicle there. There's another sheriff's vehicle. In front of that is a police officer's vehicle, and in front of that one's a police vehicle. Strange. I don't know how to adjust this. But yeah, it looks like there's at least 4 or 5 vehicles there. That's just weird and creepy. Looks like there's another one across the street too. So there's like 6 vehicles overall there. Anyway, so I guess the lady wasn't trying to be rude. She's not one of the people who was staring at me before. It's kind of one of those things where if you're not so pretty. If people do look at you, they kind of look at you like cringeworthy. Oh my god, my back. I need a new one. Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's like 5 vehicles down there that are all police vehicles. And we were talking to the folks over at this building over here. It says, say no smoking or no trespassing. No trespassing. Anyway, it kind of makes me wonder what's up, because if they're going back and forth between a couple of different houses, it might be a domestic dispute. I didn't see an ambulance there at all. I did see the cop go from the... I'll show you once I get to the end of the block here. It'll be pretty easy. Because of my screen being shattered, I'm not able to actually zoom in anymore. And I'm kind of wondering why it is the cops and their undercover vehicles still wear their uniforms. Anyway, this first house here that looks like a lawyer's house isn't the one. It was next door to it. There was a guy sitting there and a guy down there, and they were talking to the cop who was right there. He drove down to the other end. Oh, the bookmobile! I used to have one of those in Boulder, Colorado, St. Vrain Valley School District. You could actually get your Scholastic book stuff through the bookmobile that they had there. I'm not sure if they still have Scholastic, but they had when I was younger, we had Scholastic and we had Highlights. And these are like book ordering companies where if you order a certain amount of books, everything's good to go. Oh, there's Nick. Since he's walking by my car, I'm just making sure he don't mess with it. Not a big fan of violence, and I know that Nick has a history of violence and has attempted violence in front of me. I need a new bag. Anyway, he stopped in the middle of the road over there and he's looking over here at my vehicle, so I got that up. I'll just move my head over a little bit so I don't have to see him. He's gonna point and talk shit either way, but that doesn't mean I have to acknowledge it. If he was gonna do something to my vehicle, he definitely saw me as he was walking by my vehicle, so it's a good thing he did, because he just kept on walking. Whereas I have no guarantees that he won't do something to my vehicle if he thinks he won't get caught. With him being willing to get violent with people right here in the parking lot, right outside there on the road too, you know, it does make it so that it's an unsafe situation for me. And an unsafe situation for anybody else who has to encounter Nick. Now, obviously, I'm not a hateful person out to destroy his life. That would be pretty easy to do. In the recordings I have with him from out at Vicky Rains, he says her name, and he also says his last name at some point, but I'm not willing to go looking for it. I don't care what his last name is. I just care if he stays away from me and my stuff. As far as turning in whoever my stuff off there at the Fred Meyers, it's probably him, but that doesn't guarantee that it's him. I'm not gonna hate him for being an idiot either. He didn't choose that. His mom drives an ice cream truck, which is pretty cool. When I was first at Vicky Rains, it was actually his mom's dog that Vicky was watching. She watches dogs for her own therapy. I think it's a good idea personally, because then, she doesn't have to have a dog, but she can still, get the positivity of canine therapy. I would definitely promote that as far as Vicky goes. I think that it is essential for her mental health. It is helpful and useful for her mental health. And of course, you guys know me. I'm all about better mental health. I'm also all about equality, which means if someone's going to be a jackass, you have every right, in my opinion, to be a jackass back. Now, there's people here who are rude and inconsiderate. There's also people here who are nice. You can't necessarily tell who's nice and who's not just off the first glance. And Nick, he's not a complete and total asshole. If I had something that he wanted, he'd be nice to me, pretty well guaranteed. I say pretty well because there's no such thing as an absolute guarantee. Watch the bookmobile back up. Whoever's backing it up is a better driver than me, and again, that don't take much. Anyway, getting back to the lady over there at Safeway in the parking lot. She was staring at me, like mean like. And I guess it would kind of creep you out if somebody showed up who looked like your ex-husband who died in 1974. She probably looked a lot different in 1974. I'm sure if he was still alive today, he wouldn't look a thing like me. He'd be too old. He'd be gray-haired, white-headed. Well, we're not supposed to smoke tobacco library property, so I'm gonna walk over to the other side of the sidewalk and have my tobacco. I try to follow the rules pretty well as best I can. Of course, ain't none of us perfect, are we? And of course, by sitting here, there's a bunch of crap in between me and wherever the fuck Nick went, so he can't even see me, and I don't have to see him either. I suppose my next video should probably be about the people who threatened to kill my sister and continue to harass her. And the things I'm not willing to do. Although I'm still going to suggest those and ask your opinion on them. Well, we did pause mid-flight to find out who the fuck I was. That was a crow going by. They're a little bit different looking than ravens. One of them is kind of a flat black, and the other one is what's called iridescent, which means it has kind of a rainbow sheen to the black feathers. And different sounds mean different things, and sometimes it's the number of times you make a sound. Now, my older brother is pretty good at communicating with them, but it's not like an actual language with actual words like we use. It's more like, all right, you need to pay attention, or there's a predator nearby, or get up to the trees, or there's food over here. And they're all pretty short and simple. I personally only know one of them, and it's basically letting them know that I'm there. God, I just want to stay standing up. It hurts sitting down right now. Anyway, I'm overwhelmed. I got a lot more to do. There's a few more people I got to talk to. There's a trauma counselor lady here. Well, she used to be a trauma counselor before her son died, and now she's homeless. And I can't remember her name, so I got to go back through my videos and find that out. But I guess she used to be a trauma counselor. Now she's out here on the streets, and she's wanting to do what I'm doing, which is try to get people to actually work together. She works primarily with female victims, or worked primarily with female victims and children, as most of them do. But I guess from what I heard, she knows a little bit about how the system works, how it runs, and why it doesn't work here in specific. She's got the down low on some of the people who are really heavily involved in the KKK stuff here in the area. Now, whether or not it turns out to be true, I don't know. But I know that it's a lead worth following. Kind of like when I got those leads when I was in Portland about where Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley might have disappeared to. We were able to find her, and she was able to actually get herself safe across the border. Anyway, I don't really have anywhere to go, actually. I'm pretty low on gas, so I definitely need more of that. I got a little bit of change that I dug out. It's in my door. God, I am so overwhelmed. God, that hurts. Anyway, one of the biggest problems I have is basically poverty. People see poverty and they don't like it. My vehicle ain't exactly the prettiest. Plus, a lot of times I end up just sitting in my car for half an hour, 45 minutes because my back's hurting like a motherfucker. So people are like, oh dude, why are you just sitting in your car? You know it's hot out. Yeah, I know it's hot out. My back hurts, that's why I got the door open so it doesn't get too hot. On the bright side, it's only 4:17, so I got plenty of time before I gotta get something done. I've had a bunch more of them, the phone calls from restricted numbers trying to harass me and threaten my family and all sorts of shit like that. God, about drive you to drinking. I feel like ass. Well, I'm gonna end this video. Try to air out my vehicle a little bit. I'm gonna open up the back. Get a little bit of breeze going through. Ooh. Is that a Cessna 140 up there? Come on. Bad quality and won't zoom. Oh well. It was worth a try. Looks like there's a lot of people driving by right now. There must be some sort of small town curiosity with whatever's going on with the cops.